So good morning, everyone. Actually, I have very little experience in this field, but I'll try whatever possible tips I can as a beginner. So I'm Dr. Smriti Mishra, and I'll be discussing about these tips for ophthalmic cinematography. So books were the best option for self-learners to avail all informations, but now it is much more actually. In this digital era where everything can be accessed with a click, gaining knowledge and information from a visual media is extremely helpful and impactful as well. So especially when it comes to practical aspects like surgeries. So the more we see and analyze, the better we understand and practice. So surgical video recordings have immense potential for improving the quality of patient care, ophthalmological training, and research purposes. So for beginners, I would say one who has just started practicing, does he really need to invest in equipments for recording as well when he already has this financial burden of buying surgical, OPD, and investigative machinery? The answer to me is yes. And I think a lot of us would agree to that. But yes, definitely, it does not require to buy very high-end equipments. With the most basic camera phones, as it can be done a lot. So as with this investment, will actually with this provide some kind of revenue later on? The answer again to me is yes. So we'll just discuss why do we need to record, the advantages behind this. So especially for the beginners, I would say it is very good source for critical analysis of technical surgical techniques. So you must record all your surgeries, pay attention to each and every step and review it again and again. Then second comes the documentation. We keep documentation for everything almost in our OPDs. So why not the surgical videos as well? So it is important in cases like medical legal aspects also. And the most important thing is the self-assessment. It's very crucial that you should always go back and see your surgeries and critically analyze them, especially if any complications occur. We can go back, review the surgeries, see which step went wrong, so that you can actually properly analyze it and later do not repeat the same. So of course, it's a very good source for education for PGs and fellows. Then keep recording. It is very important because maybe you don't know which case becomes the best case that you can actually present later in some conferences. Then these simple videos can actually be posted on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google, etc. by these surgeons to popularize and maybe promote your own practice. Nowadays, even the patients are so active on social media that most of them search for you on the Facebook, on these Google, and they want to have a review of your practice. So in a way, it is helpful to post even patient feedback videos. See, instead of just typed letters, if we post these videos, they become more effective. You can also create a page or a website that we can provide these small videos, and actually you can welcome comments and resolve the queries of the patients. Another point is to keep simple equipments in your OPD, like for anterior segment and fundus photo videos and photos, and show the same to the patient so that there is a rapport between the patient and the doctor. So the confidence of the patient towards you also becomes better. And simple surgical videos can be displayed in the OPD as well. Then just for creating an impressive video, the requirements that one needs. So you need a high quality of imaging plus a very good narration. So this requires a simple digital recording system that can range from a simple phones like an iPhone or an Android phone to high-end 4K recording systems like DSLR cameras, CCTV cameras, CCD with cameras with C mounts, or even the modern surgical microscopes. They already have integrated cameras in them, but they require external video recording systems. So you actually do not need fancy equipments or high-end microscopes. Even with simple uh, phones, you can do a lot of recording. And especially for beginners, I think we should always begin with simple equipments, and then later on you can enhance anything. So now we'll come to the aim for while recording these. So the aim mainly is to have a high quality video, and it should be a sharp, clear, well-centered video. Now, for capturing a satisfactory video, one needs a basic understanding of the mechanics of the microscope, camera, and the recorder. for that, you should always be well versed with the system, the illumination, the zooming system, the focusing and exposure settings. It is important to spend time at the OT after the operations or maybe before the surgeries with the machine so that you understand it well and utilize it better for your surgical outcomes as well as recordings in it. The other technical aspects will be taken up by the other speakers, but I would just quickly tell them, like, this resolution is important. Standard deviation to 4K ultra high definition is considered very good. Then one should always keep in mind that the resolution can always, high resolution can always be reduced. So, but from a lower resolution, high resolution videos cannot be made that. So that becomes very difficult. Then the aspect ratio actually is again technical. It's a relative horizontal and vertical size of a graphic. So that is preferred to be 4:3. I'll just show you this. On the mobile phones, you can actually have these aspects. 4:3 is the standard definition. And if you want a wide field image, that is around 16:9. And then your output file format, that is very important, that it should be compatible with your operating system. And fundamentals of video recording. Very briefly, I'll just go through this also. So there are just 4 parts under which you can edit your video. So first part is the previewing. Then you have to review your material, select the clips you want to use, jot down the timing of those clips so that it becomes easier for you to cut those portions you require. Then second comes the planning. You have to make an objective. Think about the target audience. What do you want to show and who is seeing those videos? So how would you like to structure it? You have to decide everything prior to just starting the editing. Then you should always keep some pre and post-op images of investigations like FFA, ultrasound, fundus photo. All this gives a very good impression of pre and post-op features. Then you should always think about the appropriate timing of the video. Mostly 3 to 5 minutes is considered good. So actually the attention span has reduced a lot. So the first 2 minutes, you need to make sure that your video is attractive enough so that the audience is glued to the seat. Then comes a rough cut. So there you have to think about all the images that you have, the video clips together, put a background music, put maybe some narration and the title. Then the final editing comes where you trim your clips properly, and you should make sure that the transition between the 2 clips is very smooth, and try to make a short, precise video. In archiving or storage or saving the videos, it is always important to store it in 2 places at least. If there's any trouble in retrieving from the system, you should always have a backup. So the most commonly used backups that we have, like the Google Drive, and for the Apple users is the iCloud. So here you can keep all your videos. If you want to, these give you a specific amount of storage, but if you want, you can even enhance that. Means you can buy more storage for these. And from the Google Drive, you can actually share it directly via links. Then the second thing is, the second place where you should store it is a hard drive. So that becomes safe for you, that you'll not lose your stuff. And video editing software is very important. Now, this will also be taken up by the other speakers in detail, and I'll just go through this Windows platform we have, where a very good, you can say, user-friendly software is Wondershare Filmora. Then on the Mac system, we have iMovies, which is a free version of this for the Apple users. And then there is another Final Pro Cut, sorry. And this one is the paid software, and the only problem with this is it is quite professional, so it becomes a little difficult for a fresh user. And then of course we have our smartphones. Here we have KineMaster and Viva Video Editor. These are very good for making short videos. Then another one point I've left, like voiceovers and music that you can put in. So just simple tips like music that you have to use here should be a royalty-free music. Otherwise, these copyright issues start occurring if you upload them, and then you'll have to put it down. So that becomes a problem. There's another non-copyright song channel where you actually get a lot of songs and music from which you can easily pick up whichever music or sound you like. Then voiceover, like voice recording, can be done with softwares like Audacity, GarageBand, FL Studio. So these are few things about the voiceover and music in this. Then comes the submission part. Here, these most of the time you can present these at conferences in the webinars. Nowadays, everything is online, so it's easy. And then submission in video supported journals. Almost all the journals are now giving support of these videos. And then you can also upload it on YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, academic groups, Instagram. And just few points to remember while you're presenting your surgical videos. Make sure it is worth the time of your audience. That is very important. That the target audience, according to them only, the presentation should be. Then the video should have a message or educational value. So again, yeah, cut. That makes it make it short, precise, and to the point. So it becomes easy to keep in track with this. And then you must summarize whatever video you have put in. You must summarize the point that you want to show. Then this is just for our beginners, and especially for these like basic points on which the videos are judged during conferences for award categories. It's just like technical aspects on video that is seen as overall quality and resolution, the clarity of movements during the surgery, the appropriateness of the title of the video, and the presentation layouts. Then again, same way on the audio aspect also, overall quality is seen, then clarity of commentary, what is the relevance of the commentary, and appropriateness of the surgery done. And then finally, the educational value, the novelty of the technique, and also what learning points we get from there. So to summarize, we just need to keep a clear, attractive title. A clean, sharp, well-centered video is always appreciated. The video should be relevant to the title, should have an educational value, should be short, precise, as short as possible, and you should have value for time, like start and on time, finish in time, and thank people for their time. So I would like to thank you all for the patient hearing, and over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti. A wonderful presentation. You have almost touched every part of the aspects, especially for the beginners. I would like to add one thing, that it is the only hesitation which is creating problems. So do not hesitate to try to record the video. Once you start recording the video, then you really needs to improve your video quality, and definitely you'll try to gather the different better gadgets. And with time you can save your time, because editing will be with time, because you'll be more experienced, you'll need lesser time for editing, and it is only the hesitation. So my request for this is, please to start recording, and with time you will improve. Dr. Pradeep, because we have 2 minutes time, so do you want to say something for beginners tip, because
Yes,
you are the vast experience?
yes. Actually, they have to start recording, and without thinking whether it is good or bad, whether a recording is becoming 4K or HD, they should start recording and audit their own surgeries first. And in that way, they should improve their surgeries, and then they can think of presenting sharing to others. So first thing is, record in any device. Better to have a beam splitter and a camera, and start with it need not be very high, very costly camera, but should be a proper recording, and they should audit their own surgeries and to improve their own surgical skills.
Very rightly said, sir. First thing is, do not hesitate, start recording, because once you
Yes.
start recording, then you realize the importance of resolutions, because it is always said that your resolution you cannot improve. So always try to record a better, higher resolution, and then you can degrade it, but upgradation is not possible. But this is only possible when you start recording it. Dr. Ashish, you want to add something, because we still 1 minute? Unmute your mic, Ashish.
I'm saying recording of surgeries for beginners is important in the sense, like initially they make a lot of mistakes which they don't realize while doing the surgeries, and they struggle at various steps of surgeries. So when they finish the surgery and at the end of the day, when they go back and see their own videos, then they realize that they could have done it much better, or this was the fault which they did initially. So for them, it is for their own learning also, because they go back and see their videos again and again, and that is the way they improve also. So recording for them is important in that sense. And later on, when they improve in their surgery also, so they can also teach that this is what I did in my initial days and this is what I'm doing now. So that would be a great teaching tool for everyone, I guess.
Yes.